Hi everyone, I'm Monique with Open Gate Quilts, and we're on our third of our sew along for Quick Turn. And if you still want a kit or a pattern, she has them available on www.bearcreekquiltingcompany.com. Make sure you check out both opengatequilts.com and bearcreekquiltingcompany.com because we've got lots of cool stuff on there. And I also have videos on opengatequilts.com and our YouTube channel, so make sure that you check it all out. So we're going to get started getting our quilt together. So let me go to the quilt and show you what I'm talking about. If you look, this border here is directional, so the waves are going this way. The waves are also going this way on the side border. This one here, if you cut both of them the same way, this is going to be going this way and these waves are going to be going up. So I want to show you how to make it so that they're all going the same way. I'm going to use the print that's the same print, it's just different colors, and I'm going to show you how to cut it so you can get your borders going all in the same direction. So the first thing I did was I squared up my side, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut along this length here. So this is going to be my top and bottom border, and the reason I want to cut this length here is that if you have enough to make the quilt, you're going to have a huge length of it. You want to cut whatever you can to make sure that you have a nice length for the top and bottom borders. That way you don't have to piece it. So I'm going to cut the length of my border here, and I'm going to, first thing I'll do is I need to trim up this edge so it's nice and straight. I'm going to cut this so that it's all one length and I can get as much of it I can out of it, so I make it sure that it's the length of the border. So I'm going to trim off this edge here. So I'm trimming off the salvages. And I would measure just to what my border is. So I believe, let me look, the border is 80 inches. So I would measure about 84 inches and cut that length off. So that way I know I'm not cutting into the rest of my fabric. And then I flip it over, and I need to cut this 6.5, and I just have a 6-inch border or ruler here. So let me turn this so I have it so I can read it better. I'm going to line this up on the 1/2 inch on my ruler, and I'm going to use this and cut. And I would continue to cut my 80 inches so I have my border that goes at the top and the bottom. You will then have some leftover pieces because you only need 2 of those. You can use this for both your binding and your side border pieces because now they're going the correct direction. And you would just cut them like you would normally cut them. So that's how I would cut my borders with a directional print. Last week I showed you how to put all the blocks together. Now we need to put them into the quilt. You should have 7 block A's, 6 block B's, and 7 block C's. And the reasons there is different numbers is because of how they're laid out. So I'm going to start with block A. This one here is my block A. Then the next one is block B. And then the next one is block C. And because it's 4, I need to add another block, so I start at A again. So the first row goes A, B, C, A. And it does tell you that in instructions, just in case you don't remember when you're putting together. The next row is actually not going to start at B, it's actually going to start at C. So this is my C block, and then I go back to A, B, and C. And that's how I'm getting my diagonal coming together to make that light and dark transition. Once I have my rows put together, I sew them together and then I press them. The instructions tell you which way to press. I sew on my inner border, then my outer border, and then the next thing you need to do is you need to quilt it. I long arm quilted it using a white thread, and the reason I used a white thread is I like the way that the white thread looks really good on the light and doesn't overpower the dark. If I used a dark thread, say I picked a dark purple or a dark blue, all you would see is all the quilting on the light. And some people like that look, but I prefer to have the look with the light on the dark. And so basically I just did some swirls and kind of followed it around, and it was a continuous swirl. So that's how I did my quilting. Then you should have had some leftover of your borders, and I bound it with that. And once you're done that, you're all done and you can enjoy your quilt.
Yeah.
So that's the last step for Quick Turn. This has been a wonderful project. Thank you, Sherry at Bear Creek Quilting Company, for letting me do this and for working with me to make this fun quilt. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully we will be doing this again. Thanks. Quilt bind and enjoy.